Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. Hey, Instagram. Hey, Facebook. Thank you for joining me early on this Saturday morning. It's not too early because we are all self-quarantining and we're all in the house. So shouldn't be too early for you on this Saturday morning. I definitely wanted to get on here and talk to you about some things that I think that we need to know. People that should be listening into this live are people who are in business, who have a new business that is between 0 and 3 years old, or those that are looking to start businesses. And I know that we are all home on self quarantine, and a lot of us have uncertain futures. So I want to be able to help out a little bit with those uncertain futures and those that are interested or now working on their dreams and their visions and their goals. So if you are someone that is in business or looking to go into business or just started a business, this call, this live, this video is for you. You should be joining me here on live. Just give me just a few minutes and we're going to get started. I'll tell you who I am, why you should listen to me, and what we will be talking about. So join us here, tell a friend, share it with a friend, ask some people to join in. And I will get started really quickly. Okay, so what we're here to talk about is those who want to be a boss. This is for people who are, again, like I said, those who have just started businesses, people who have been in business between 0 and 3 years, and those who are thinking about starting a business. You know, we a lot of times people start businesses for different reasons. Sometimes we start businesses because we have a skill or we have something that we do well and we think we can make money doing it, which is a great thing. There are other people who start businesses because they need to make money in some type of way. And then there are people who are like myself, I think that are born entrepreneurs and born business owners. And we start businesses because it's the natural thing for us to do. So somebody like myself, I've started lots of businesses, and it's because I am a business owner and I'm an entrepreneur born that way. I'm an entrepreneur by heart, and it's really hard for me to be an employee. And there's not much wrong with being an employee, but it's just hard for me to be an employee. So I recommend if you're an entrepreneur, if you're thinking about going into business, that you sit down and you get some things together. If you're watching and you know somebody else that is interested in being in business, then what I want you to do, hey Kiki, I see you, but I'm not able to go over to Instagram right now. Thank you though. Um, if you're interested in being in business and you know somebody who's interested in being in business, you should probably tag them in this video, share this video, start a watch party with them so that they can watch the video with you to see what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to give just a minute for you to invite some people on so they can watch us here. I'm both live on Facebook and over on Instagram. My Instagram it is Latasha Nicole, and I will definitely tell you all about Latasha Nicole. I am a serial entrepreneur, as I mentioned. I've been in business for about 11 years now. I've had lots of different types of businesses. I am a certified small business development coach, but that is not what qualifies me to coach you. It's my experience that qualifies me to coach you. It's my experience that qualifies me to talk to you today. I have had many ups, many downs in business, many losses, lost a lot of money, wasted a lot of time, did a lot of things that did not make sense. And so as a business strategist and as a startup consultant, I want to make sure that other people can avoid those pitfalls as possible. I do have clients that I work with right now, and we are seeing a couple different things happening consistently with those clients. So I feel like if one or two have the same problem, then others have the same problem as well. And we want to make sure that we can provide that information to multiple people at a time. So that's why we're here today. So the topic of our happy hour today is so you want to be a boss. So let me just tell you a couple things that we're going to talk about. And don't worry, I am reading my notes because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. We're going to talk about what you need or what you should think about when you're planning to start your business. So we want to talk about those things that before you get going in business, what you need to consider, what you need to make a list of, and what that list needs to look like that you work from. So some of those things are your unique business idea, your innovative idea. So if you have an idea that is unique and you haven't seen it before, you want to make sure to write that down. If you have an idea to improve upon a certain business model or a certain product that you see out there, then you definitely want to write that down. So you want to write down your unique or your innovative business idea. Write that down, what the idea is that you're interested in taking into a business. Once you have your idea, then the next step for you to do is research. Research and see if there's anyone out here doing that, anyone out here doing something similar to that, anyone out here that is your direct competition, or anyone offering something that you see that is lacking and that you offer better or you offer an improvement to. You want to research so you have the information. Don't just go out here blind because one, if it's not already out here or it's not already being done, there may be a reason that it's not already being done. Two, you don't want to replicate exactly what someone else is doing. And three, maybe you can make something that's already out here better. And you want to test it and make sure that the people want it. You want to see that it's something that is wanted. So after you figure out what your business idea will be, and you figure out, who's doing it, and if no one else is doing it, you figured out that there is an actual need for it, then you want to survey people and make sure that there's a need for it. Make sure that people will buy it, people will buy it from you. Make sure that you are offering it in the right way for people. So what you want to do is start with your immediate circle, your friends, your family, your associates, even people that you know on your social media followings, and tell them what you're doing. Offer it to them, let them know, see if that's something they'd be interested in. Because if it's not something that they'd be interested in, that doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't do it, but you might not be doing it for the right people, or you might not be offering the exact thing that people need. So you want to research and you want to survey the audience. And then once you survey people and you actually deem that this is a good idea, that people want it, they're interested in it, then you want to test it. So you want to make a test version of whatever it is that you're choosing to offer, and you want to give it to people to test it out to make sure that it works. Make sure that it works for people other than yourself. Make sure that it works for people other than your mother. You want to make sure that the product works and that it's something that people can use and benefit from. After you've done that, after you've done your research, after you've surveyed, after you've tested, and we are good to go, now we need to create a plan. What are we going to do? How do we make this thing happen? That's the next step. How do you make it happen? Once you have the product, once you have the service, once you've mastered it, what's next? What are you going to do to get it out to the world, to start selling it, and to start making money doing it? So what you want to do before you can think about how you're going to start selling it and how much money you're going to make doing it, we're going to go to number 4. You need to think about the cost of it, the cost of your product or service. How much does it cost you to make that product or service? How much does it cost you to deliver that product or service? How many pieces need to go into the puzzle to get a complete picture of that product or service? Once you know those things, it's helpful for you to move forward. Then you want to decide if you want this to be a real business or a hustle. Let me get a drink of water on that. So do you want this to be a real business or a hustle? Now listen, I'm all for the side hustle. I'm all for starting your business as a hustle. There is nothing wrong with starting your business as a hustle. However, if you plan to see this go longer, you want to move from a hustle to a legitimate business. I do suggest, this is me, everybody else might not suggest it, but I do suggest starting it off small first. Starting it off with the minimum amount of investment, the minimum amount of money that you can to put into it, and test it out. And that test it out phase is what I would consider to be your hustle phase. So testing out what you're doing, testing out if it's working, testing out different strategies to get it out to people, testing out different pricing structures. That you do that in your hustle phase. But when you're ready to move from a hustle, then you need to figure out your actual business structure. Business structure means, do you want to be a sole proprietor? Do you want to be an LLC? Do you want to have a partnership? Do you want to go into a corporation? Do you want to be a nonprofit organization? There are a few different business structures that you can choose from. You have to decide what works best for you and your business and your product or service and your long-term goals. And that may not be something that you can decide on your own. You may need to talk to an attorney. You may need to talk to a strategist. You may need to talk to a business advisor because it can get a little tricky. There are a couple different things, there are different types of LLCs, there are different types of corporations. So before you make that decision, again, do your research and talk to those who have walked the walk and talk to those who are experts in that industry. But you definitely want to make sure to set a formal business structure if you're planning to go into business and use this business in the long run. After we figured out the business structure that we want to go into, we want to name our business. I know we a lot of us, myself included, name our business early. We pick out this name and we're like, yeah, I'm gonna call it this and let's slap a name on it and let's go. But the name of your business is very important. You want to really spend some time thinking about the name of your business, especially if you plan to grow or you're thinking long term, because you don't want to put a name on your business that limits what you can do. So if you put, let's say you name your business Bob's Bike Tire Repair Shop. Bob's Bike Tire Repair Shop is very specific. And what if in 5 years you decide you want to do more than tire repair for bikes? What if you then want to do tire repair for cars? Or what if you want to build bikes or you want to sell bikes? But now you've named the business Bob's Bike Tire Repair Shop. That's too limiting. So think about that before you actually choose what you're going to name the business. Don't make it something that's going to stop you or limit you, but you don't want to make it something that is too broad so people don't know what you're doing. But you want to make it something that you could offer a variety of products or services. So instead of saying Bob's Bike Tire Repair Shop, you might name your business something related. If you're planning to service bikes, you might name your business something related to bikes. And that gives you the option to do a variety of different things with bikes. Like if you're a hairstylist and your specialty is coloring hair, you don't want to name your business Hair Coloring Factory if you're going to do more than color hair, because people will come to you because you're the hair coloring factory, but you won't be able to expand beyond that service. Well, you can, but it won't translate well to your audience. So you don't want to get a name that's limiting for your business. Now, once we've got our business name, we've figured out our structure, we know that we have a viable business, we've tested it, we've researched, and we have a plan. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we're legit. That means we need to get our licenses, we need to get our permits, we need to register with the government so that we are a legitimate business, because legitimate businesses pay taxes. Legitimate businesses pay fees. Legitimate businesses have licensing and permits and insurance. So if you really want to be a boss, you want to make sure that you get those things in order as well. Until you get all of those things in order, you are still in the hustle phase. And if you're wanting to go from the hustle phase to an actual business phase, you want to make sure to get those credentials in order. It's just like anything else. There are things that are required to be a legitimate business. So those licensing and those permits, that's important. Make sure you get those. After we got all that stuff together and we're just about ready to go into business, we need to talk about money. How are you going to get paid? How are you going to bill your clients? How do you do that? So what you want to make sure that you do is get you a invoicing tool, a payment processing system, because we got to get paid. That's the most important. That's why we're here to do it. So you want to make sure that you have those systems set up from the very beginning, because when you're ready to go out and you're ready to sell and you're ready to produce yourself, you want to be set up so that customers can buy. You want to be ready to send out bills and process payments. You don't want to have people cash apping you all the time. You want to have a system where you can take a credit card if you need to. You want to have a system where you can bill your clients that pay you for services so that you can invoice them and you can keep record of what you're billing and what you're being paid and those people that haven't paid you. is you may not have a business that pays all up front. So you want to have a system where you can keep track of who owes you, how much they owe you, when they paid you. Because again, as I just told you in the previous step, legitimate businesses pay taxes. They have responsibilities to the government and to the IRS. And so those invoicing tools and those accounting systems will help you to keep all of that information in one place so that you have it easily accessible and you can pass that on to the powers that be when it's time to do so. So all of that is framework. And then we decide what is our location for the business. How are you going to deliver your products or services? And location could be a physical location, it can be an online location. It's totally up to you and what's best for your business and what's best for your product and service. If you're looking behind me, you can see I'm in my home office, and one of the signs behind me is for Pearls and Gems Elite, which is my nonprofit organization. And these racks of clothes that you see behind me, these are for Finding Gems, which is our online resale store, which is a division of Pearls and Gems Elite. So I don't need to have a physical location because I have an online store. So my location is my online platform. And I do suggest strongly, if you're going to sell your products or services online, you can use social media, but do not let that be your only platform for selling your products or services. And the reason why I say that is because Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, none of that belongs to you. And so if they decide to go away tomorrow, you do not want your entire business and your entire client base to go away with them. So I do suggest using it, but I also suggest that you have another platform. So you have your own platform to do that. You have your own website to be able to do that. Something that you pay for that belongs to you and that you have control over. Or you have someone to talk to about it. Because if Facebook goes away, you can't call up Facebook and say, hey, y'all took my business. They don't owe you anything. It's a free service. But if you have a service that you pay for, then they're responsible to you, and you can call them up and make sure that they're getting your services and products and business back up and running online. And then if you need a brick and mortar store or a physical location, that is fine. Just make sure you take that into account that there's costs associated with that. You're going to have to be at that location. There's monthly rent. There's utilities that come along with that. So consider all of that and see if you can launch your business without taking on the monthly overhead of having a physical or brick and mortar location. Sometimes in some businesses need it, others don't need to have it right away. So don't just jump into getting more than what you need. Again, I say start with the minimum viable version of your business. Whatever you could do to actually deliver your product or your service with the least amount of overhead to begin with until you're ready to sustain paying bills every month in that business. And then once we have our product, we have all of our licenses in order, we have our name registered, we have all the legal stuff done, all the foundational stuff. Now it's time to promote our business. Tell people that we're coming. Tell people that we're here. Tell people what we're selling. Start to show off your products and show off your services, because if you open it, does not mean that they will come. They need to know that you're here. They need to know why you're here. They need to know why they should come to you, what they should be buying, and why they should buy it from you. What makes you somebody that I want to spend my money with? You need to spend some time promoting your business, promoting your product or services, giving people an inside view into you and what you do and what you offer, and helping them to form that bond and that trust with you so that they can shop with you. I'm going to go over that one more time, those 10 things. So the 10 points that you want to consider when you're going into a new business or you have a new business, a young business, is understanding your unique or innovative business idea. You want to research, survey, and test that business idea. You want to create a plan to manifest that business idea. You want to think about your cost, the cost of doing business, and you want to plan accordingly for that. You want to make sure to choose your business structure, select your business name and register it, get the necessary licenses and permits for your business, Set up an accounting, invoicing, and payment processing system. Figure out and set up your location for doing business. And then promote, promote, promote. So those are the first steps that you want to make sure that you cover those things when you are interested in being a business and being a boss. So now we got all of that down. Now I want to talk about the difference between being a business owner and being self-employed. Lots of people confuse these two. There is a huge difference between being a business owner and being self-employed. As a self-employed person, you can still own your business, but when you're self-employed, what you've basically done is you create a job for yourself to do. That means that you actually work your business and you plan to work your business forever. So you've given yourself a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you want to understand the two sides of the puzzle. So if you're interested in being self-employed, which means that you're a one-man show and you're going to make the product, sell the product, market the product, all of that yourself, understand that that has limits. You cannot grow bigger than you if you are the only person that makes and provides your product or service. So you're just creating a job for yourself, which means that instead of going to work for someone else, you make the rules and you're the boss and you deliver the products or services, and that's fine. But to be a business owner means that you plan your business for growth. You plan for this to grow beyond you. You plan so that your business can still operate if you get sick or you need to go on vacation or anything. You want to grow out of the business and you want the business to continue on. That's more than a one person show. So self-employed is generally a one person show and your plan is to stay a one person show. A business owner is someone who is going to start a business. They may start it by themselves, but they're planning to grow beyond just them. They're planning to grow beyond doing it themselves. So I'll give an example. Maybe you bake cookies. And so you might start off your business as a baker and you're baking all the cookies yourself. Well, there's only so many cookies that you can bake, and there's only so much that you can do in the business because you have to actually bake the cookies. You don't have time to really take the orders. You don't have time to update the website. You don't have time to go on social media. You don't have time to be out marketing things because you have to bake the cookies. So that's self-employed. And if you get sick, the cookie baking stops. The business stops until you get well again. That's self-employed. Now, if you're a business owner, you have this recipe for baking cookies, and you can bake cookies, but you can also train and teach others to bake the cookies, and maybe possibly get the cookies baked and put them in a store somewhere, so that if you get sick, the business continues to carry on. Somebody else can go ahead and bake those cookies, so the business can keep going. You can take a vacation and it can grow because you can train others to bake cookies, which means that you can bake more cookies and take more orders. I hope you understand the difference between being self-employed and a business owner. So self-employed is generally a business of one. Business owners are generally, it may start off as a business of one, but it starts off with the idea and the plans to grow beyond that. And you want a business that you don't necessarily have to be there every day for it to continue on and to continue to make money. Self-employed people have to be there every day for their business to operate. Business owners do not. Business owners train others and hire professionals and hire people that continue to keep the business running when they are not there. So think about that. There is a difference. And I'll give just a little bit of some definitions here. So a small business is an organization. It's a partnership or it's a sole proprietorship that has a few resources and it makes a smaller annual revenue. So it's not as big as, let's say, one of the big companies like a Target or something like that. It's something that makes under a certain amount of revenue a month, but it is an actual organization and it's a partnership, sole proprietorship, or something that is actually formally organized, registered with the government, registered with the powers that be. An entrepreneur and an entrepreneurial venture, they're small business owners as well, but entrepreneurs are people who focus more on ideas and strategy, and we're risk takers, and we're people that offer a product or service that come to shake things up. We're coming with something new, and we might do it often because we are thinkers, we're movers, we're shakers. Those are entrepreneurs. Someone who is self-employed, again, is somebody who works for themselves. So, Paul the plumber. Paul goes out and he does plumbing work. Paul is self-employed. Now, if Paul hires other plumbers, then Paul becomes a small business. He becomes a business owner of the other plumbers. So, as a self employed person, there's nobody over you. Most of the time, there's no one under you. You run the business, you work the business. Those that are interested in going into small business, you're thinking long term growth. You're thinking something more than today. You're thinking beyond you. You might want to leave something later for your children or the next generation of people to take over. There are other bodies in the business other than your own. So those are the differences between, again, being a small business owner and being self-employed. And I strongly urge you to spend some time focusing on what you want to do, because if your goal is to become a business owner and you're self-employed, you want to think about how you're going to get out of that self-employed phase, how you're going to be able to grow your business so that you can work on the business and not just in the business, because working in the business does require you to be present all the time. And I am an advocate of being able to work on your business and not just in your business, because it's really hard to grow when you're doing it all and you have to actually do the work. You have to sweep the floors, mop the floors, you have to take out the trash, you have to order the supplies, you have to bake the cookies. All of that is, you can only do so much that way. You can't make your business scalable. And scalable means that you want to be able to, let me get a sip of water. Scalable means that you want to be able to teach your business to somebody else so that it can grow beyond you. Small business, self-employed means that you're just creating an opportunity for yourself. You might be tired of working for somebody else and you want to work for yourself. You can do it. You can sell your product. You can get your products. You can get your services out there. And there's nothing wrong with being self-employed, but I'm just telling you that being self-employed does not allow you room to grow the business larger if that is your goal. So you can start off self-employed, but definitely put your plan together, get your stuff together, get your recipes together, get your strategies together, get your all of that together, and that way so you can plan to replicate it. You can do it in different locations, you can teach it to different people, you can teach it to your kids, your nieces, your nephews, so the business continues to go on if something should happen to you, the business owner. So once you have all of that and you spent your time on that and you decided what you want to do, you need to make sure that you're creating an identity for your business. This is something that I tell my clients that I think is really important, is that your business needs to have an identity beyond you. Nothing wrong with you being the face of your business. Nothing wrong with you being the face of your brand, but your business needs to be able to stand alone. I want people to see that P behind me and understand that that's Pearls and Gems Elite. Now, they may know that Miss L is the executive director of Pearls and Gems Elite, but Pearls and Gems Elite has its own reputation. It has its own name. It has its own house. It has its own phone number. Your business should have all of that. It should not be connected to your personal email address. It should not be connected to your personal cell phone. It should not have clients coming to your house to do business. That your business needs its own identity. Some of the things that your business needs is a name of its own. It doesn't have to include your name. It needs its own name. It can include your name, but it doesn't have to. It needs to have its own house, at least its own website or domain name, where people can go to find out more about the business. And let me tell you the difference between a website and a domain name really quickly. So the domain name is like the address that's on the front of your house. The website is the actual house. So think about this. You can get a domain name when you're early in business before you get a website, if you choose to. And you can take that domain name and you can point it to where you need to go. So before you get your website, you can get your domain name and you can have that domain name point to your Instagram page or your Facebook page for the time being. But the purpose of having the domain name is it has your actual name attached to it, your business name, your address. So if somebody's looking for you and they're looking for your business, you can send them to www.mybusiness.com. And that's real simple and that's real easy. And it's what people are accustomed to. And www.mybusiness.com could point them directly to my Facebook page where I have all the stuff that I offer there until I am able to get a website. After you have your website, your domain name, you also want to have an address for your business because businesses require documents, and they require things to be mailed to them and sent to them. In just a second. But remember, I told you that we don't have to have a physical address for our business right away because we don't want to have to take on that expense. So what you can do is there are places that you can use, like a PO box or a mailing service or a shared office space or something like that, which will give you an address for your business that you are able to use. So that your business, if people are looking for your business or they're looking to send you something or they're looking to send you samples or deliveries or something like that, so that it doesn't have to come to your house. Because also when you register your business online, all of that is public record. And so people can look up your business, and if your home address is attached to it, they can get your home address. And they can start mailing you something, or worse, a disgruntled customer can come looking for you at your home address. So I really recommend that you look for a separate address for your business. Not saying go get a location, but have a separate address for your business. Again, you want to make sure that your business is on all social media platforms. That's where people are. That's where you're watching this at right now. You probably do a lot of business on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok these days. Make sure your business has a presence on social media, on the social media platform that your ideal audience is on. That's that's very important because that's an easy way to reach people and an easy way to connect with people. So make sure you're setting your business up on social media. Another thing I suggest is a landing page. A landing page is just a one page website. So it's not a website with shopping carts and pictures and about us and contact us. It's a one page website that has all the important information about your business there so that they can go to that www.yourbusiness.com and it points to your landing page, and your landing page will give them the information that they need and the access to be able to contact you or purchase your product or service. And that's something you can do early in business before you have the chance to set up a website, or if you're launching something new. I suggest landing pages for things such as if you have a membership club or you have a new product or service that you're testing out. You want to be able to put specific things on the landing page. The website has a variety of information. The landing page has specific information tailored to why you're sending people there. And then your business identity, of course. You want to make sure you got a logo, something that people can recognize immediately as it relates to your business. I always recommend, or I always speak about the Nike swoosh, the Target symbol, the apple, something that people can easily identify if it's out there that it connects to your business. And you want to use that on everything that you own, every type of property that you put out there for your business, whether that's the website, the social media, the actual products and services. You want to be able to have your logo on everything that you do so people know without a doubt that that is you doing it. And that's the business identity. The next thing that's important is systems and processes. If you are in business, you need to know what happens from the time somebody finds out about you to the time that they get your product or service from you. What happens? So you send somebody to your website. What are they going to do on your website? What's there for them? Are there products or services there for them to see? Can they purchase from your website? What do you want them to do on your website? Do they need to contact you? Is your website there just to give them information about products or services? You want to talk through or think through the entire process of what you're doing and what somebody should do when they come in contact with you, your products, and your services. And I'll give an example of that. So let's just say that you sell, I don't know, custom t-shirts. A lot of people sell t-shirts here. Let's say you sell custom t-shirts. So you're going to put your t-shirt, you're going to take a picture of your t-shirt, a t-shirt that you did, you put it on Instagram, and people see it on Instagram. What are they supposed to do after they see it on Instagram? Should they inbox you? Should they DM you? Should they go to a website? Should they call you? What's the process? What do you want them to do? And then once you have that process, so if the process is for them to call you, so they see your shirt on Instagram, you have a phone number for them to call you, they call you, then what happens? Are they calling your cell phone, your personal cell phone, and you don't know this number? So you're answering it apprehensively, hello? Or are they calling a dedicated business phone number for you? so that you know that somebody's calling you and they're calling you to do business. So when they dial that number, they're calling you and you're like, good afternoon, t-shirt company. How can I help you? And then that, how can I help you? What does that mean? What's the process? So now they're here. They saw your shirt online. They called the number you told them to call. Now what? What are you asking them? What do you need to know from them? In order to deliver that t-shirt from them, what do you need to know? Do you need to know how many t-shirts they need? Do you need to know what size? Do you need to know if they have designs already? Do you need to know if they need you to make a design for the t-shirt? Do you need to know what date they're going to need this by? Do you need to know what it's for? Do you want to have like a little checklist or something of all the things that you need to know from somebody who you are providing a product or service to? And then after you get all of that information, after you get everything that you need to know for them, then what? How do they pay you? How are they going to get your product or service? How do they pay you? Do you send them your cash app? Are you sending them an invoice? Do you tell them to go to your website and there's a link there where they can pay? Do you take their credit card information over the phone? How do they pay you? And then after you're paid, how do you get them their product or service? Do they come pick it up from you? Are you mailing it? Are you shipping it out? Is it an ebook and you can deliver it to them online? Do you ship FedEx? Do you ship UPS? Do you charge them for shipping? Is shipping free? All of these things are part of your process. You need to be able to know how it goes. Then once you get them the product or service, do you follow up with them to see if they like it? Do you follow up with them to see if they want more? Do you follow up with them to tell them to refer somebody to you? Do you offer a discount if they refer somebody to you? How do you continue this relationship with that person who's purchased your product or service? All part of the process, all things that you should think about at the very beginning. So this way you're not missing things, you're not missing money, you're not stumbling over things. You plan it out so you know how that customer process looks from the beginning to end. And then we talked about that process. That's the process of delivering your product. But how do you attract your customers to you? I know in my private groups, and with my coaching clients, we talked about the process of understanding who your customer is. And I definitely recommend you spend some time on learning who your customer is. But how are you going to attract people to you and what you offer and what you do? So you got this t-shirt, great t-shirt you made, you like it, you tested it, your family and your friends like it, you put it up on Instagram and nobody clicks the like button. You put it up on Facebook, nobody likes it, nobody shares it, nobody buys it. Why is that? Because nobody sees it. Nobody knows it's there. So how are you going to attract people so that they know that your product or service exists and is there and that they should buy it from you? How do you do that? So you need to have a plan on how you're going to attract customers and who those customers are that you need to attract and what is attractive to them. You have to think about that. What is it about your product or services that is attractive and who is it attractive to? And how are you going to show them that your product or your service is attractive? And then I talked about that customer retention. So who's a customer who is going to buy from you more than once and sustain your business? Even if you're in a t-shirt business, a hand-to-hand t-shirt business, I call it, which is where you're selling one t-shirt per person, how are you going to get that person to come back and buy the next t-shirt that you present? Or if you're selling custom t-shirts and you're selling them for the family reunion, how are you going to make sure that these people buy your shirts for the next family reunion and the next family reunion? And they tell their friends to buy it for their family reunion. What is your customer retention process and plan? Something you need to spend some time on as the boss. And your customer retention plan and your intake process and your plan to attract all ties into your actual branding of your business. That is a really important part that you want to spend. I like to say that your branding is your business personality. It is what people think of when they think about you and they think about your business. So first off, you want to think about, what is your product or service and who is it for? And what is the promise that you deliver to your end user or your customer or your client? What are they going to get from purchasing a product or service from you? What should they expect? So anybody that does business with me, they are going to expect that I give 110%. I'm creative. I want to see you win. I'm real. People are going to know I like Jay-Z because I'm going to quote Jay-Z almost every time I talk to you, or in something that I'm doing, you're going to see a Jay-Z reference in it, hence how I'm referencing Jay-Z right now. That will probably happen a lot of times. I'm laid back, I'm relaxed, but we're going to get it done. That's one thing about me. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk. We're going to think it through. We're going to strategize. I'm going to be creative. But at the end of the day, working with me, we're going to get your product done because I'm going to keep you accountable. That's what you'll learn from working with me. And that's what I promise to my customers. What do you promise to your customers? If they buy your service or product, what is it that you're promising them? What should they expect from getting this product or service from you? How are you going to connect with them? So how do you build relationship with your potential customer, your potential audience? How do you build a relationship with them? And that could be a multitude of ways. Social media makes it very easy to begin to build relationship with people because you can show your personality. You can talk to them. You can share with them. You can interact with them doing things like lives and Zooms and contests on social media are ways that you can connect with your customer. Sometimes you might have, when outside opens back up, of course, you might have to get outside in these streets and you might have to go to live events and visit places to tell people about your products or services. But in order to connect with people, you got to tell people you're here. You got to let them know your personality, your brand personality, your identity. And it's okay if you are not necessarily an outspoken and outgoing person and you may not want to be the face of your business or your brand, but you need to find somebody who will be. You need to find somebody who is going to be the face or the personality of your brand or somebody to help you with that. Because in order to build long-standing relationships and in order to build that customer retention, you have to create a connection to your buyer. You have to. Otherwise, people just kind of fly by night with you. They might buy something with you, but they don't build that trust and they don't build that loyalty. If you think about it, there are people, our generation, maybe not so much. The generation below me, maybe not so much. But there are things that you are loyal to. Perfect example. We have iPhone users and we have Android users. Some people are loyal to Apple. Some people are loyal to Androids, whatever Samsung got, whatever. As you can tell, I'm an Apple user. Don't fault me for that. I love my iPhone. I love my Apple products. But because Apple connects to me. I like Target. Target connects to me. I like Macy's. Macy's connects to me. You want to build those relationships so that when people go to buy whatever they buy, they think of you in your product or service. It's just like I always say about the product that if you cut yourself and you have to put something on your arm because you're bleeding, most people call that a band-aid. It's actually a bandage. But we've all become so accustomed to the band-aid brand that we call it that. Another one is if we got to look something up on the internet because we don't know what it is and we want to search for it, most people say, I'm going to Google it. Well, you're actually going to a search engine. Google is a search engine. There are other search engines out there, but Google has done such a great job of intertwining themselves in our lives that we all go to Google first. Most of us. Some people go to Bing or whatever other search engines out there. But my point is that when you want people to think of whatever your product or service is, you want them to think of you. So like for me, I am a business strategist for women. So I want people, and I call myself your business bestie. I do help men as well, but my area is women that are in business between 0 and 3 years old that need help with startups. And so I brand myself the business bestie. And I brand myself like we're going to have a relationship. We're going to be sister girls. We're going to talk through this, but I am your advisor. And so I want people to think whenever they're thinking about starting up a new business or they're thinking about writing a new book to tell their story or to inspire others, I want the business bestie, Latasha Nicole, and Pivot Point Publishing to come to your mind. So I have to continue to put that out there and put myself out there and put my name and my businesses and what I do in front of people so that I am connecting with those people. And again, I have to know who those people are so I can know where they are and how to connect with them. And that's the lesson that I talk about finding your tribe and knowing your customer. Just like I just told you, my customer is a woman who has a business that is between 0 and 3 years old. She is either struggling to get her business started, she's confused on the steps that are required to start her business, or she's in business and she's stagnant and she's stuck and she wants to figure out how to get her business to grow. She's already been hustling in her business. She's maybe seen some success in her business, but she wants to see more. So she's stuck and she doesn't know what to do next. And that's the person who I talk to. That's the customer who is there for me. That's the customer who my marketing materials will speak to. You will see me say sis, ladies, girl a lot because that's who I'm talking to. I can craft my message to that person because I have a specific image of my customer in mind. I'm not saying, hey, everybody, call me. I'm saying, sis, if you are in business right now and your business is not going the way you want it to, you're not making the amount of money that you need to make, you don't know how to grow your business, you're tired because you're working too hard in your business and you're not seeing enough success. You're charging too little and people are paying you and they're working with you and you're trying to negotiate your prices and all of that. Sis, call me. I can help you. See, I'm talking to a specific person with a specific problem that I can help them solve. That's what you want to be able to do. You want to hone in on who your specific customer is and what their problem is and how you can help them solve it. How your product can help them solve it. How your service can help them solve it. How you, as the person, as the business, can help them solve that problem. It's a world of difference between talking to everybody in the world and talking directly to somebody. I always use the example of when you are out and someone calls your name, how you can hear your name from a block away. That's the same thing. You can hear your price point from your pain point from a block away. If somebody is talking to you about what you are looking for, you can hear it. And another thing that I suggest is have the kind of business or product or service where you don't necessarily have to go finding customers. You want to do such a good job with positioning yourself and making yourself aware that when people are looking for said product or service, they come looking for you. You don't have to go jumping in inboxes. You don't have to go do that. They're going to go to that search engine, Google, and they're going to search in you and your business or your what you're offering. You want to make sure that you're using the right words, the right language to reach the right people so that when they have that issue or they want that product or service that you sell, that they know to come and look for that product or service by name, maybe not necessarily your business, but by name of what you offer, what you sell, and how you offer a benefit to them. And when they do that, that it connects to you and your business. So I hope that makes sense for you. Some things I do want to recommend to you, again, is spend some time figuring out if you're going to be self-employed or if you want to be a business owner, a small business owner. Figure out the structure that you want your business to be. Figure out your brand personality. Who is your business? Who do you want people to think your business is? What's the vibe of your business? How should people feel when they're coming to you to do business with you and when they get your product or get your service? Also want you to figure some time out thinking about words that connect people to your business. So there's a tool that I learned about, Google Keyword Planner. You can use that to type in like words that people are going to use because when you speak to somebody, you want to speak in the language that they understand as it connects to your business, not necessarily the language that you understand because as a professional, you may not be speaking the same language as the average person. You want to make sure that you understand the words that your customer needs to hear and that they understand so that it makes sense and they can draw that connection to you. And then you also want to make sure that you're visible. You have a website, you have a house, you have a domain name, you have social media pages so that people can come and they can learn about you informally and they can study you and they can research you because average times people don't buy from you the first time they see you. It takes them a few times. Most people say it takes 7 touches for someone to buy from you. So you want to make sure that you're consistent. You're showing up all the time, keeping people, taking them through your journey with you, taking them from that startup phase to the day you're actually ready to launch. Let them get invested in you. Build relationship. Become one and become a family and a tribe and a body with your potential audience. It's helpful. It really is. It really is. People like to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And you want to create that environment with your product, service, or business as well. It's just like when a new shoe is coming out, how Michael Jordan and Nike can have people lined up down the block for some shoes because people want to be a part of that. People want that. People want those Jordans no matter how much they cost. Same thing with the new iPhone, same thing with all the new gadgets. People have that connection. They want it. You want to create that same type of demand, that same type of brand loyalty, that same type of trust and connection with your audience If you want to spend some time working on your business, your tribe, connecting with your audience, making a product that is specific for a group of people, specific for a person that can need you and that will continue to buy from you repeatedly over time. So that's about it. Those are the things that I think that you really need to focus on to be a boss, to be an actual boss in business, a legitimate business. I am definitely, like I said, I am your business bestie. I am here to help. If you're interested or you need some additional help with achieving any of those things, you can definitely visit my website at letsbebusinessbesties.com. There are some options there on how I can work with you. If you need some help on getting your business identity together, I did create a guide for you. And the guide is $15 and it gives you so much information on creating your business identity. If you don't know where to start, one of the main things that I like to suggest is that business phone number. In my guide, I teach you how to get a free business phone number, step by step on how to do it. And you never ever have to pay for that business phone number. I teach you how to get your domain name. I teach you how to set up a website, a landing page. I teach you how to actually do everything that we spoke about here. I teach you how to get a phone number, what social media sites can work for your business, how to get a mailing address for your business, invoicing systems, what invoicing systems to set up, appointment schedulers, things like that. It's called the Ultimate DIY Toolkit to Doing Business Like a Pro, and it is actually the Ultimate DIY Toolkit. And this is for the person who's ready to put in the work themselves. You may not have as much money as you want to be able to pay somebody to do it, but with this toolkit, you can actually do it yourself. I give you the tools, the resources. I tell you about where you can go to create your logo or where you can go to find somebody to make a logo for you at an inexpensive price. I give you the actual names and websites to places that you can go to get a phone number, a website, a domain name, an email address, to create your graphics, to have someone create your graphics for you. I help you to do, gosh, it's so much stuff in there. It's jam packed. It really is. And I do recommend that for only $15, even if you just do the phone number portion of it, it more than pays for itself. You can definitely grab a guide for that. I created a website landing page just for that. It is the ultimatediytoolkit.com. You can go on and you can grab one of those toolkits and you can get started with creating your business identity today. It is the ultimatediytoolkit.com. If you want to talk with me and you want to, work on any of the things that we discussed today or any things that I talked about today and you need to dig a little deeper, you can go to letsbebusinessbesties.com. Again, I'm Latasha Nicole. I am the owner of Pivot Point Publishing. I am a small business, startup business consultant and strategist. I do business under letsbebusinessbesties.com. I am also the executive director of Pearls and Gems Elite, which is a nonprofit organization for girls. And I've been in business for about 11 years. I've had a multitude of businesses. I've had some successes. I've seen highs and highs. I've seen lows and lows. If it is related to business, I've probably done it, and I can help talk you through it. I can point you in the right directions for a lot of things. I have relationships with people who do a lot of things, who do a lot of wholesaling, lawyers, attorneys, graphic artists, animators. I have a lot of resources that I am more than happy to share with you. So definitely, if you need more, go ahead and go to letsbebusinessbesties.com. Schedule a time to talk. We can set up some time to talk. I offer a free 25-minute Q&A session. You can schedule that, get on my calendar, and we can talk. If you're ready to work and you need a little bit more, there are other sessions there that may work better for you. Just take a look at the offerings, read the description so you know what they are. If you're ready to get started on your own and you're a DIY person like myself, grab the guide, the Ultimate DIY Toolkit. You can, to doing business like a pro. You can grab that at the ultimatediytoolkit.com. So I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you took some notes. I love to hear from you. You can either drop something in the comments below, or you can send me a private message or DM me if you're over there on Instagram. Again, I am Latasha Nicole, your business bestie, and I hope that you found this helpful. Thanks for having a happy hour with me, guys, on this Saturday, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day and wishing you the best in your business. Bye, guys.